welcome back to another pickups video, as promised. So this time it's the Commodore Amiga. So I've just picked up Commodore Amiga 600, the Wild, the Weird and the Wicked pack. Now this was the pack that I had back in the day, so well happy to be having this. You know, this brings back so many memories. You know, it came with Jeff Cramman's Formula 1 Grand Prix, Pushover and Putty. So again, really great to have this pack. I mean, the box is in pretty decent condition. You know, we'll do a closer look at this in another video as well. We'll have a closer look because when I did pick this up, the Amiga wasn't running how I wanted it to be running. It was very, very slow. It would take about 2 minutes to get to the booting up screen where you can see the disc load screen coming up. And searching over the internet, I kept hearing get it recapped. So what I did was I got it over to Amiga Passion and they've recapped it for me. So I'll put a link in the description for them as well. Now it's running as good as new. I mean, we've got the intro video here for Birds of Prey running on it. On this screen we've got Lotus III, so one of my favourite racing games on the Amiga. So anyway, we'll go through what games I've got. So obviously I've got 3 games that came with the boxed Amiga. So again, I'll do another video on that another time. So we'll start off with obviously Birds of Prey, which we've got on this screen here. So I've got all box complete games here. And this was a great flight simulator back in the day. I mean, what I loved about it was the quantity of aircraft that are within the game. So it says here the 40 frontline aircraft, so you've got 40 to choose from. And it comes with 2 discs and obviously, like all flight simulators, a nice little bit of bedtime reading there for you. So I can't remember what half the buttons do, so I've got to go through that again, but I would like to do a video on this sometime in the near future. So pretty happy with that. Next up, Boogie Boy, which I never had on the Amiga originally. I just remember playing it in the arcade as a kid. So it's nice to have that on the Amiga, which is probably one of the better versions on the home consoles. Unfortunately, in transit, the case has smashed, so I need to get a new case. But other than that, it is in pretty pristine condition, as you can see there. And also, because of this, it runs on Workbench 1.3. I've had to get a disc that it's a soft ROM effectively, so it will convert the ROM to 1.3 ROM. But you just have to put that disc in first. So again, I could do another video on that another time in the future. Next up, I've got the Eros Pack. The reason I got this was it's got a few games on here that are pretty expensive on their own. So we've got License to Kill, Barbarian 2, which I was never familiar with, Running Man never was familiar with, obviously the movie I was, and of course Star Wars Arcade. So you know, that needs no introduction, and that was one of my favourites in the arcades. Again, didn't have it on the Amiga originally. That's probably one of the better versions of it. Next up, I've got Lotus 3. This has got to be my favourite racing game on the Amiga. I mean, back in the day I had this on copy, but I did have an original copy of Lotus 2. And what I did do with my friend, we went halves on a serial cable. So we went to Tandy, bought a serial cable. I'd carry my Amiga down to his house, which is about a mile away, and I'd carry my little black and white television all the way there. So certainly built my arms up, that's for sure. And we'd get there and we'd link it up, and you could do up to 4 players on it, so that was absolutely brilliant. But in terms of 1 player and just 2 player on the normal screen, Lotus 3, definitely one of the best games ever on the Amiga racing wise, in my opinion. So that's box complete. I was quite lucky to get this one because it is pretty expensive on eBay, and it was quite rare as well. It's got the discs in a nice bag, and you've got the manual. Pretty good condition, that. Next up, I've got Skidmarks. Originally I used to play the demo of this back in the day, I did get Super Skidmarks near the end of the Amiga's life, which I love that game, it was brilliant. It has loads of discs though, so I had an external floppy drive, so I could just keep swapping them that way. But this one, it only has 3 discs in it anyway, so it's not too bad. And yeah, I just wanted to get this one because I knew that it didn't have so many discs, it was quite easy to set up. And it was the first version of the game, and it's absolutely brilliant and quite, I suppose, revolutionary for the Amiga, I guess, because the cars were 3D rendered in Imagine, which was a 3D rendering package for the Amiga, and I believe it was all programmed on the Amiga as well using Blitz Basic. And then later on, after it had been on the Amiga, it did arrive on the Sega Mega Drive. Codemasters took that on and they repackaged it a little bit. It just looks a bit more polished in presentation. Graphically not as good as the Amiga one was overall, but just a more polished package. But no, I'm pretty happy with that. Box complete. Nice little sleeve. Everything in there. And there is an AGA disc as well, so it's the Amiga 1200. So you get a few more colours on there. Next up, Power Drone. So way before Wipeout, Power Drone was the type, yeah, like a hover racer, I guess, hovercraft racer. Pretty decent game, quite revolutionary for the time. Great 3D graphics, runs very smoothly. Next up, Turtles. A friend of mine did have this on the Amiga, and I remember thinking it looked a lot better than the NES version, but it is effectively the same game. But yeah, fond memories of playing that at my friend's house. Right, so next up we've got Zee Wolf 2, which is a 3D attack helicopter game. Very similar graphically to Virus, if you remember that one, which was available probably a decade before this came out. But yeah, a great game. I remember back in the day I had the demo of this. Unfortunately, this is the only game out of all of them that I've tested, and this one doesn't work, unfortunately. So I am looking out for a disc for that. So keep looking on eBay. Right, I hope you guys enjoyed that little look at the Amiga pickups. There are a few more games on my list that I'm looking at. So there's R-Type. There's 3 R-Types on the Amiga, so I'm looking out for those on eBay. Also Super Skidmarks, that's also on my list. So yeah, there will be more pickup videos. As I say, there is still more stuff that I've been collecting over the last 6 months. So if you like the video, please press the like button, so it is much appreciated and it does motivate me to make more videos. And if you're liking the look of the channel as a whole and would like to see more videos from me in the future, please hit that subscribe button. Okay, thanks for watching and see you next time.